Welcome, How was that?
That was pretty good, yeah.
That was good.
You held that up pretty long.
Yeah. Welcome to a very special episode, very special Memorial Day episode of the Brohio podcast. Some of you may know me as Nicholas. In the radio worlds, they call me the Delicious Nickolicious. I'm here with my best friend,
Rob Dog. As always. Hi, guys.
As always. If this is your first time tuning into the Brohio podcast, I'll let you know that we don't like men with puffy nipples listening to our podcast.
Or inverted dicks.
I gotta go.
And I'm out.
Gotta go. No, we kind of kicked around a few different topics. You guys have heard us say this so many times before. We kicked around a few different topics, but just a party weekend. Everybody getting back out. We weren't sure if we were really going to record anything, so we solicited some listener stories. We said, "Hey, anybody out there that's been deployed or served, if you have some strange highness, whatever." If you've got a nice hiney,
Your Highness,
send us your strange stories. We will read them on the air. And we have some stories from Vietnam, from World War II. My personal favorite war is World War II as far as the story aspect of it. We won that motherfucker. If you were listening from the UK or Germany or Japan, if you're listening to Japan, we really won that motherfucker.
Jeez.
Yeah.
We have a good track record with war.
You're probably not listening if you're in Japan. You guys don't have those radio towers back up yet.
Jesus.
Not my fault. But I'm glad we've moved past that. We're in a peaceful time. Kim Jong-un, he went on vacation for 3 weeks. It just so happens, not a lot of people think about this, but Kim Jong-un goes on vacation for a few weeks, and the whole world comes to a complete standstill due to COVID-19.
Yeah.
Was he possibly the glue that holds the entire, or should I say, was he the seaweed to hold the sushi roll together?
You know, I think that's a very good assumption to make. I wouldn't rule it out.
It's possible.
Very possible.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
We have some new Patreon subscribers this week.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah, let's get into that real quick. And not all these are new. It stops at let me see. We'll just go from the from the one up. So Chris Cook, thank you for your Patreon pledge. And then I'm going to grab the next one.
Okay.
Because this is a special one. This is his dame wrote us. Christina wrote us. She said, "Can you wish my man sauce a happy birthday on the podcast?" I said, "Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes so we don't forget it." His name is Derek Big Balls Mangum. And she said that when they were first kicking it, she thought his last name was Magnum.
Magnum, right.
And then she saw that he had a really small dick, and she just thought it was a sad joke. And then she got to looking a little deeper onto that driver's license. She saw that his last name is Mangum.
That explains it all.
That's the complete opposite.
Just got a chewed up, sticky dick.
I like it when I treat you like a piece of man gum. I got some oatmeal falling out of my face right here. I forgot to swallow my breakfast before I wanted to suck on your dick.
So nasty. Okay, you go ahead. You take two of them.
Am I going under Chris Cook?
You're going above Derek Big Balls Mangum.
Okay. Aiden Barnett and Alan Hopez.
Thank you all for your Patreon pledges.
Thank you.
Alex Kelsey. Alex, thank you for your Patreon pledge. Thank you for having such a beautiful first name as well.
And let's see here. We got Azura Ariana Rain.
Grande.
Right.
Thank you, Ariana Rain Grande. Azura Ariana Rain. She is definitely a sorcerer. We're very happy to have her along on the Brohio traveling show we do with sorcerers and wizards and stuff. That
gypsies.
A lot of you don't know about this, but we do have a traveling sideshow where we go to county to county. Some of us call us carnies. I think that's a little violent term.
Yeah.
We travel with a group of rejects and sorcerers and witches. Last but not least on the Patreon list is Big Red.
Named after his bush.
That's what, yeah. I was about to say that was the nickname for my wiener when I had that situation going on with it. If you would like to join us on Patreon, go to Patreon.com/Broio podcast. Derek Mangum, happy birthday, you fucking...
Yeah, happy fucking birthday, you chewy dick motherfucker.
Oh, man. Okay, let me go ahead and add another track right here.
Okay.
Hopefully we can do this without making too much noise, because usually when we fire up that track, we fuck it up, and...
Just delete the whole podcast, it's
I
fine.
fucking hate this podcast anyways. Just delete everything.
Fucking Joe Rogan can make $100 million from signing with Spotify.
God, I know we have more downloads than him. What's the deal with that, bro? Broheen? Rotato chip?
Oh, man.
That's a lot of money. Good
Good
for
for
him,
him.
though.
I know.
Dude,
My dude's fucking slinging that
he's
dick.
done it all. I don't even know. He's really kind of secretive with his life.
Very much so.
Alex Kelsey, he's on the Patreon list, and he just subscribed to us on YouTube.
Okay.
He's going all the way in.
Congratulations.
Alex, welcome to the family, my friend.
Yes.
I think it's really cool, and Joe Rogan, he is podcasting.
Yes.
I don't know when he started. I know he was one of the original people to start.
I think like Adam Carolla, was like the first like big guy to do it, if you want to.
Yeah, but obviously...
And he's still doing it.
Rogan, if you haven't heard, his show was sold to Spotify this week. Some say...
Exclusive deal. It's the first exclusive Spotify deal, I do believe.
Some say it's north of $100 million is what he made in that deal.
Near between 100 to 500 million.
Like Forrest Gump. We ain't got to worry about money no more.
No. I don't think he did in the first place, but still.
Yeah. I don't think so. He's got a lot of stuff going on, though.
Yeah, he's got his
now,
hand in a lot of pots.
He could hire someone to shave his taint and balls for him.
He
wouldn't have to do it.
I'll do it.
I'll do it, too.
I'll just love to hang out with him and just fucking smoke weed every day.
Yeah, he's a super cool dude. He seems like it anyways.
Right.
Let's see here. Oh, man, where the fuck did it go? This is so sad. Hold on a second. I gotta pause for 1 second. Here.
Okay.
My article had disappeared, Rob. It
happens.
It was a fun one, too. This is liable to give you a chub.
Okay, I'm ready.
But just know that it's not worth the blood that's rushing to your... It's not even worth that.
All right, I'll try to remember that.
It says, meet the uncomfortably close mother-daughter duos of Smothered, Season 2. A mother's love knows no boundaries, but these moms know no boundaries. TLC's hit reality series, Smothered, follows 6 mother-daughter pairs whose relationships are sometimes a little too close for comfort, from role-playing together to sharing showers.
Ooh, that's weird.
The show, and this one's about Mary and Brittany. Mary, 55, and Brittany, 20, are a Jensen Beach, Florida-based duo who do everything together, including shopping, cosmetic surgery, sharing a bed at night, and showers in the mornings. Mary, who works in a tailor shop, refers to her daughter as the love of my life. They know that sharing showers might come off as weird, but Mary says she doesn't care. There's so many moms and daughters out there that aren't close.
I don't even stare her right in the tits.
Dude,
I want to.
this is so weird.
Is the daughter hot? Hang on.
No, they're hideous. Both of them are... That's a fucking Snapchat filter. Don't let that fool you, Rob.
Okay.
And I think that to have a daughter is a blessing for a mother. The closeness is a bond that a mother and a daughter need to have, and in this day and age, I don't see a lot of it, so I don't care about what other people say. Brittany says she's also unruffled by other people's judgment. My friends are like, why do you hang out with your mom so much? This bitch does not have any fucking friends. But it's my mom. She's my number one friend. I can tell her anything. Kids my age are into different things than I am. Boyfriends or girlfriends. I want to focus on me and only me. My mom helps me and supports me through whatever I do. They started sharing showers when Brittany was a child. She used to have panic attacks when there were partly brought on by hot water, they think. That's kind of how I started getting in the shower with her, just to comfort her because she would freak out, says Mary. That grew into an every other day thing. When she was smaller, it was every day. Mary says her tight-knit relationship with Brittany has put a strain on her relationship with her live-in boyfriend, Frank, all of which will be shown on Smothered. And this is not a paid advertisement either.
What if he's smashing both of them?
I sure as God hope not. It has caused some issues in my relationship, but he's got to accept it, Mary says. That's how it is. He knows I love him, but I love my daughters more. And we have the smothered trailer.
Damn, she's got a lot of
Brittany
surgery.
and we've always lived together.
Yes.
And plus, I'm only 19. I haven't moved away. If that was the case, she would probably die from separation anxiety.
She's retarded, isn't she?
Yeah, she looks like it.
Definitely.
Sounds like it, sure. I love how they put a shower shot. Damn it, TLC, you had one job.
The best way to start our day is in the shower.
They're washing each other's hair.
I want to do your back.
There. Wow. The one girl, the girl's so white you can't even fucking see her.
Her mom looks like Predator.
Yeah.
Perfect.
When my mom does simple things like washing my hair or washing
Got
my
crazy
body,
eyes.
it makes me feel comforted.
That smells good. Yeah.
Smells good. Same fucking
I
shampoo
love
you
her,
use every
and
day,
I don't
probably.
see anything wrong with it.
Oh, you got a different shampoo today, Mom? I've never smelled that before.
How's that, baby? Good. Yeah.
I have been taking showers and helping Brittany since she was 5. I'm just a doty mom.
But that felt good, huh?
I don't believe I said
so
I had
weird.
a relationship this close to Brittany. It's something that was supposed to be.
Speak to me.
Fucking glamour shots.
Tell me
Oh
what
my
you
god,
see.
look at that.
It's kind of like a spiritual connection.
Oh, no. Now,
Man,
see, this is kind of weird, and I've never talked about this before.
she looked like the Tiger King.
They were some ugly people. Anyways, my up until about I was 18 or 19,
Mm-hmm.
I used to crack open the bathroom door, and I would make my dad hold my hand while I took a shit. And much like a silverback gorilla she's been feeding for a long time, I built up enough confidence in my father that he would start putting his hand into the bathroom to hold my hand instead of making me put my hand outside the bathroom to hold his hand.
Uh-huh.
He would. I built up that trust, that bond that Brittany and Shaniqua are talking about right here. I built up that bond strong enough that he would start to put his hand in the bathroom to hold my hand when I took a shit. And I did something to betray that trust, Rob.
What'd you do?
I shit in his hand. But I put
You got the directions a little confused?
a big old fucking turd right in his hand. And he said, "Oh, man, your hand's feeling a little squishy today."
It's real stinky, too.
And that was the day that my dad knew that it was over. that I had moved on, that I didn't need him to hold my hand anymore while I shit.
You were a grown-up.
Yeah, and sometimes he'll call me in the middle of the day, and he'll say, "You pooping soon?" He'll say, "Son, you pooping soon?" And I said, "Yeah, Dad. I can work one up right.
I'll be over in 10.
I can spin a turd up for you right now. My butt is a fucking poop vortex. I can make a big one swirled up right now, like a witch or a wizard. I can I got a hot brew coming. You want me to come over and poop in your shower, Dad?
Just call me Harry Plopper.
Like I said, we're completely unprepared for this episode, so you're getting a whole lot of nonsense. And to capitalize on that poop story, pooping in the shower, I remember one time when I was probably 9 or so, we had a babysitter over watching us. And
Was he hot?
I plead the fifth. I said, "I got shit." She said, "All right, go to the bathroom."
I got a shit.
So I went to the bathroom, sitting there pooping. This is about the time that I started to take a little bit longer in the bathroom than normal. And as soon as I sat down, as soon as my butt cheeks touched the toilet seat, my little brother starts beating on the door. He's like, "I gotta fucking poop too." And our lock was broken when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So he just came in and he's like, "I gotta poop." And I said, "I'm shitting right fucking now, dude. Back up. Give me some space. Let me take care of this." Then the babysitter, being funny, she said, to my little brother, she said, "Ryan, why don't you just poop in the shower?" This motherfucker dropped his pants down with his little dick hanging out, hung his butt cheeks over the brim of the tub, and he shit in the bathtub. Then he just stood up and fucking left while I was not even done pooping.
Oh my gosh.
You people don't understand how bad a turd smells with no water on it. Fucking disgusting. That's
Dry dock turd.
You dry dock the shit out of me, dude.
Literally.
There is no words to describe how bad poop smells without any water, any moisture to that
Just
thing.
fucking stuck.
Just laying there dead in the sand.
Like a dead frog.
Yeah, like a dead dolphin. You got to roll it back in the ocean.
Yeah.
And that night, my babysitter, she said, she got it all cleaned up. She grabbed it like a wild snake. She grabbed it, pulled it out of there. And she said, you can't tell your mom about this. And I said, we'll fucking see about that, bitch. I'm snitching. As soon as she gets home, I'm snitching. And it kind of slipped my mind until we were eating dinner, and I just was sitting there with my arms folded like a little fucking fat kid. And my mom's like, what's wrong with you? I said, I had a bad day. A bad day? She said, what happened? And my little brother's like mouthing the words to me like, don't. She said, you have to fucking talk about it, dude. And I said, I was pooping, and Ryan came in and pooped in the shower. My dad's like, what the fuck? What the blue fuck? What are you doing shitting in the shower? Because, anytime something yucky like that, your dad has to clean it up.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, he didn't do it all by himself. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, the babysitter told him to do it. Which she, thinking back now, she was just kidding.
Yeah, right.
But still, I said,
It is something funny to say.
I said, that fucking bitch made him treating us like...
At least she cleaned it up.
Yeah, but my mom, she did not have that babysitter back.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because she kind of took it as like... she was like locked us in the bathroom. We were just kind of living in our squalor in there.
Just shitting everywhere.
Yeah.
Like living in your own shit.
We're out of places to poop.
You pooped yourself into a corner. Like you're supposed to poop in the corner.
Don't talk about the fuck you told the babysitter. You were talking about the fucking poop, Nick. We're talking about the poop.
You fucking narked him out.
I was upset, dude. We had bad luck with babysitters when I was a kid.
Yeah.
One babysitter was over, and I was putting dishes up in the cabinet, and the goddamn cabinets fell off the wall and
shit.
Crushed me, hit me right in my little dick. I was in a little blue robe. Plates fell out, hit me in the balls and shit. People don't think your balls hurt when you're a little baby, but little baby balls hurt. And it's just, there's a long list of things that fucking happened while I was being babysat. And I wasn't a bad kid, just shit, bad shit happened.
It is boys. That shit happens with boys.
Jesus Christ. All right. In honor of Memorial Day, did you ever get raped, or did you ever have anything bad happen while you were being babysat?
No, I don't ever remember having a babysitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was the oldest, so
You were the babysitter.
And my parents didn't give a shit about me, so they just left me on home alone.
If he dies, he dies.
Right. I learned how to fend for myself at a pretty early age.
Oh. One thing we did, we hopped on Facebook. We solicited stories from our friends that have served in the military and around the world. One of our favorite friends of the show, Party Pat. Hopefully it doesn't say in this email, don't use my fucking name. But Party Pat. He sent us an email. He said, I'm a U.S. Army Special Forces soldier, more commonly known as a Green Beret. I think that's how you pronounce that, right? Beret. I like Brett. Bret Hart. Brett.
Yeah.
I was a Green Brett that hit me on hard.
Green Bret Hart.
Commonly known as Green Beret. Between 2011 and 2013, I was going through the Army Special Forces qualification course, usually referred to as the Q. It encompasses all kinds of training from survival, language, and tactical training as a small unit. The story is from my time in the field during our small unit training. There are stories that float around of an abandoned haunted church and people seeing and hearing all kinds of weird shit out there in the training area. Stories such as a whole class hearing drums and thinking it was their cadre? What is that?
No idea.
CADRE. Trying to motivate them. Maybe I don't know.
Their platoon.
Okay.
Is that the same thing?
I don't know.
I think that's a different branch of military, but I think it's all the same. They're comrades.
Okay.
There you go.
We were 7 weeks into our 8 weeks of training and out in the field doing our final field exercise. After 7 weeks, our small group is so in tune with one another, and we can accomplish almost everything without even speaking to each other. We had our ambush set in, and the time hack we were given passed, and no contact was made with the opposition force. We consolidated and prepped for movement, but being students, we can move without cadre present. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
I just looked it up. It says, and I was right. It's pretty much like a group of peers.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Cadre.
Okay, cadre. The one in charge starts yelling for our cadre, blowing his whistle, and no one is there. So he tells us to stay tactical but relax and wait for our cadre to show up. We're in our security posture for 10 minutes, and the guy in charge breaks out what we call a buzzsaw.
Okay.
It's essentially a glow stick, one of the ones you crack and it lights up, tied to a string that we can spin in a circle as a signal. He's yelling the cadre's name and spinning the buzzsaw, and we hear an audible, "Hey!" When I say we all heard it, all of us start prepping our rucksacks and getting on a knee to get ready to move.
Did you say nutsacks?
Yeah, it's nutsacks. Okay. Sorry, I mispronounced that. The one in charge says there he is and tosses the glow sticks onto the road so he can see where we are. 5 minutes pass and no cadre. We walk up to the road and stand around for a few minutes, and our cadre comes walking out of the wood line maybe 500 meters down the road. There's no way someone could have been there because we had a great lum from the moon. Man, he's really using some.
I know this is an articulate guy. How's he listening to us?
We all had night vision on, and in the 7 weeks of training, no one was sneaking up on us. That same night/morning, our cadre gave us our grid and told us to move out. On the movement, 2 of the other guys stopped to get a head count. Anyone who's been in the military knows how crucial accountability is. I'm the B team leader, so I'm the last person in the formation during movement. They filed in behind. I call back to who I'll call Drew, who was with him when he was counting, and if it was Will. He told me he was alone. Turning around and seeing only Drew, I stopped the movement and got a good head count. I walked up and down and got a count and saw that Will was still further up in the line. I swear I saw someone standing next to Drew.
Oh, man.
Looked just like one of us. Night vision, weapon, uniform, and rucksack. I have no clue what we heard or what I saw. Sure, you can chalk it up to the light tricks or sleep deprivation, but that was our first night on the final exercise, so we weren't doing droning yet. I'm still good friends with everyone from 16-man group. I was in that 8 weeks of training with, sadly, 2 men from that group have been killed in action, and from that whole class, we've lost 4 friends. It would mean a lot to me if you said their names, because to a lot of us, they aren't just numbers you see flash by on a news broadcast. And those fallen soldiers were Staff Sergeant Pat Quinn, 26 years old, killed in action October 13th, 2013. Staff Sergeant Danny Lee, 28 years old, KIA, January 15th, 2014. Captain Jay Jones, 29 years old, KIA, June 2nd, 2014. And Master Sergeant Mike Riley, 32 years old, KIA, June 25th, 2019.
Man.
And that's what Memorial Day is all about, is honoring those fallen soldiers, those fallen fighters that fought for this country. You may not necessarily be from this country, but you listen to this podcast, so we don't just discriminate or, single out our country. A lot of people have died for a lot of good, all around the world.
And a lot of bad.
You're absolutely right. Most of the countries that listen to us are all, good places to live, much like America, unless you're China. From what's portrayed by Fox News and CNN, bad place to live. That's what I hear. I don't know if that's true or not. I want to go there. I want to play some Dance Dance Revolution with those wonderful people in China.
Shit, not me, man. I'm not trying to get destroyed.
I would die. I would fucking croak over and die.
My ankles would be twisted up, and I'd be in a big pretzel.
That's good.
Yeah,
we should try that sometime.
All right.
I think that, like I said, thank you to those that have served.
Yes, thank you guys.
For those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, there's no way to say thank you. So just think about that while you're listening to this stupid episode. There's things that are bigger than this podcast, bigger than ourselves. A lot of, and like Rob said, there's some bad people out there, but then also there's been a lot of people die for causes that didn't need to be, didn't need to give their life for. In that moment, though, they gave the ultimate sacrifice. They thought that they were fighting for a just cause, but looking back, we've unfortunately lost some people that probably didn't need to give their lives for what they were fighting for. That's another episode for another time.
Yes, it is.
And we found some stories off Graveyard Shift. Excellent spot for when we're trying to just squeak by, do the bare minimum for an episode. Kind of like today when we have no research. I did research a topic. I got about halfway through it, but it just wasn't enough for a full episode. I got to finish the research on that one. The next stories we have come by way of Vietnam. And if you've never been to Vietnam, I'm right there with you. I've never been there either. I hear it's wonderful. But we did fight a war there.
You hear it's wonderful.
about 40, 50 years ago, 50 years ago, we fought a war there. And it was one of those wars a lot of people think there wasn't much to prove by fighting that war. It goes without saying we've found some strange stories centered around Vietnam. First is the bloodthirsty grandma, and Rob's going to tell you all about the bloodthirsty grandma.
That's just how I like them. So, before refrigeration, families had to dry out their meat by hanging it in the backyard.
I just hang my meat out of my shorts.
That's what I do, too. In this tale from a rural Vietnamese village, one couple noticed their meat was going missing at night. Mine goes missing at night, too. It just hides in my body.
Mine's missing right now.
Yeah, it is. To solve the mystery, they stayed up to watch the sick old grandmother from next door leaping their fence like a fucking leopard around midnight, devouring the meat raw with a demonic look on her face.
Holy shit.
A few days later, the couple went out for the night, leaving their children with a babysitter. They returned home just in time to hear a scream from their infant's room. Rushing in, they found the old lady chewing on the arm of their baby in her nightly hunt for fresh meat.
Grandma,
fuck.
What a way to start this one, Rob. That starts with a bang right there, doesn't it? Man, my grandma, never met her. Well,
it would have been better if she didn't have any teeth, so she was just gumming it. Help, this tickles!
Oh, Rob, dog, I tell you in there, Grandma wants to come in here to make me moister than an oyster. You know that, don't you? Oh, Rob, dog.
Oh, Grandma.
Ooh, you want to come in here and lick on my whisker biscuit, Rob, dog? You want to come in here and play with Grandma's sausage wallet?
So gross. Oh, man.
Oh. Last time you played with Grandma, you gave me the old fuck farts when you're done with me.
Happens every time.
You know what a fuck fart is, Rob?
No, tell me.
That's when you're done beating it up and it farts a little bit when you're all said and done. Some call it a queef.
A queef?
We went to school. We went to school with a really nasty girl that could queef on command.
Yeah.
She was awful.
There was quite a few of them.
Sounded like
they were always hot, too. That's
it would suck in like that.
Yeah. You know it's about to be a bad time.
And then blow it out. That's impressive.
That is.
As a man with an asshole, I wish I could queef, but I can't do it.
It's just a fart.
Just a fuck fart.
Just fart out your dick.
Rob, dog, you give me the fuck farts.
I think a dick fart would sound like a squeaky door.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, I get it. That was tough.
See what you did there.
I see what I did there. Next one's called Thon Q Plaza. In the heart of Saigon's busy Chinatown district is a series of 3 towers that each stands 33 floors tall. Buildings A and B are completely deserted, while Building C has just 20 units occupied. Thon Q Plaza was built to be a busy shopping center, entertainment, and residential area, though it's practically deserted now. 2 main stories surround this complex. During the construction in the late 80s, a number of workers lost their lives due to poor safety standards. When no proper compensation was arranged, a Chinese spell called Lo Ban, after a legendary Chinese carpenter, was cast on the site. Okay, carpenters cast spells in China.
Okay. Yeah, explains a lot.
Incidents and problems have beset the 100,000 square meters of concrete ever since. Additionally, people have been scared away from the complex since a taxi driver's story began to spread. The story goes that the taxi driver was called to pick up a girl at the complex, but when he arrived, the place was empty. He called the girl on the phone, and all he could hear on the other end of the line was heavy breathing and muffled screams. Terrified, he drove away. The driver was told that the girl was likely the ghost of a girl who was murdered by her boyfriend on the site in 2005.
Oh, man.
Wife just brought me something to drink. What is it?
Ooh.
Apple Crown?
No, I'm good, thank you. Yep, I gotta drive.
Crown Apple?
Crapple.
Crapple.
From here, we go on to the next one, which is going to be 727. You like that?
It's good. Tastes like
hit
a
spot.
Tastes like candy. Tastes like a candy apple.
Oh, hell yeah.
What'd you say, Stacy? You're gonna get it.
727 Tran Hung Dao. And this,
You nailed that one, buddy.
I think I did. I think I sounded like from that.
You've definitely clicked on the Tran link before.
Yeah. Once or twice.
Hung Tran.
Yeah, Hung Tran. I'm all over them Hung Trans. 727 Tran Hung Dao was once known as the President's Building and is located in District 5 in Saigon. The 530-room building was completed in 1960, and after being rented in its entirety by the U.S. military, was once teeming with life. Now the building is all but abandoned with only a few families remaining. It's said 4 virgins were in... Wait, where...
You fucked it up, Rob.
Yeah, I did. It said the 4 virgins were entered at the corners of the structure to give the building the correct feng shui to keep the spirits away.
All right.
Okay, whatever you gotta do, man. Residents have reported shrieks in the night, the sounds of military parade, and most disturbingly, the ghostly image of an American soldier hand in hand with a young Vietnamese girl wandering through the halls.
That Saigon whore bit my nose off. Have you ever seen Dirty Work before?
No.
It's got Norm Macdonald,
Yeah.
Chris Farley, and then who's the guy from Howard Stern that doesn't have a nose anymore? Artie Lang?
Artie Lang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got the phenomenal movie.
Yeah, I love Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. It's an awesome movie. Next, we have a story from a listener. His name is Cody. And Cody his story comes by way of our favorite spot, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Right? You ever been there before?
Once or twice, or 10 times.
It's fucking scary.
Yeah.
What if we got them to allow us to do a live show in the museum?
Oh, dude, that would be so
and then
dope.
stay overnight.
That would be dope.
I'm going to have to call some people.
Yeah, we need to make that happen.
I worked at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for nearly 7 years. This is an incident that happened to a good friend of mine that also worked there with me. One day, this is really good, Rob, so fucking you keep on petting the cat.
All right. I'm listening.
One day, a woman was found to have entered Wright-Patterson Air Force Base unlawfully.
Uh-oh.
When she was questioned, she stated that she was attempting to, quote, see the general because she had recently volunteered for a sleep study on the base. After the sleep study, she had been having alien transmissions speaking to her telepathically. She was apprehended and charged with trespassing. Fucking crazy shit. A few weeks later, my same friend was in a completely different area of the base, Area B. He was called to the front gate for a disorderly woman. Before arriving to the gate, he called up to the gate to ask for a description of what was going on. The gate guard stated that a woman was at his gate requesting to speak to the general because she had now had alien transmissions speaking to her telepathically after volunteering for a sleep study on the base. My friend remembered the woman and began to make his way to the gate to assist in her removal from the base. Same woman, same thing. When he arrived to the gate, he discovered that it was a completely different woman with the exact same story. She had responded to an advertisement from the base looking for women to volunteer for a sleep study at the base. After waking up from the study, she claimed to be able to hear alien transmissions. Love the show. Thanks for supporting veterans and happy Memorial Day, Cody.
Holy shit.
Wonder old Ray, our friend Ray Shemansky. I'll have to send that to him.
Yeah.
He'd get off on that.
Yeah,
he wants to sit down with us again.
We need to do it again. That was really fun.
What's really funny is whenever we reached out to, and you guys can go back, it's 4 or 5 months ago, we did a episode with a senior scientist from Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Had some knowings of some strange things that were going on at Wright-Pat, and he was deeply entrenched in the UFO community. He had a lot of knowledge about a lot of UFO stuff going on. But when we asked him to be on the show, he said, okay, I'll think about it. Then I got an email that said, if you guys are going to bring me on your show and berate me and treat me like I'm some kind of fucking retard, treat me like I'm stupid, because he listened to us and he saw how stupid we were.
That's how we act on the episode, but not when we're interviewing people.
And I wrote him back and I said, listen, pal, you got to calm down for a second. We're bad guys, but we really treat our guests with a lot of respect. For instance, like Tony last week, treated him with utmost respect. We had the elderly lady from the high heel murderer, that old woman, so nice to her. She continues to send us emails and talks to us. And then Ray, after he did the interview with us, he friended me on Facebook.
Yeah.
He comments on pictures of my kids. We're buddies, we're pals, and he wants to, as soon as this coronavirus is done, I'm linking back up with you guys.
That'd be awesome.
So that's the thing. You got to get to know us first. If this is your first episode, you said, these guys are fucking knuckle fucks. Just get to know, give us a chance. Okay? It won't be that bad.
We talk about poop a lot, but it's okay, honestly.
But poop,
we all poop.
It does.
We all poop.
I talked to Rob the other day.
Everything poops.
I said, what did you do? What are you doing, Rob? You got a new phone. I can talk to him now.
Yes, thank God. None of you guys sent me one. Fucking thanks for standing me up on that.
I call him. So what do you say? I just got done pooping. I said, oh, Rob poops? I didn't know.
Yeah.
We all poop.
Big nasty ones.
Big nasty.
Straggly guys.
Very fucking... I call my poops grunters.
Okay.
You know why.
I know, yeah.
So tell them about the tunnel rats. Oh, well,
okay, yeah, here we go.
No, are we the ghost girl at the supermarket?
It's okay, either one. Ghost girl at supermarket. Let's go there because I like supermarkets and food. So, in this story, a young girl visits Big C Hai Fong over lunch.
Oh, yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah, to buy some groceries and a refrigerator and have them delivered to her house. The delivery man takes the goods to her home, and the door is opened by an old lady. The old lady refuses to take the goods and says she has not been shopping. When the driver reads the name, age, and address of the girl on the receipt, the old lady bursts into tears. He had read the name of her daughter who had died months before. The delivery man, scared and angry, confronts the cashier who produces the exact amount of money in the transaction, proof the girl or someone had bought the items and had them delivered to her mother.
Wow. That's strange.
That is strange.
This is supposed to be Vietnam War stories? No, this is just
Vietnam's.
This is just, I clicked on the wrong link.
It's okay.
These are just creepy stories from Vietnam. Vietnam.
Yeah.
So we'll just go with it. We're going to keep going with it. Tunnel rats. Tunnel rats were American, Australian, and New Zealand soldiers who performed dangerous search and destroy missions during the Vietnam War.
I think I've had sex with a couple tunnel rats.
That's my nickname for my dick, is the tunnel rat. Thousands of soldiers lost their lives trying to clear out tunnels and terrain they weren't familiar with. Many died from bullets and shrapnel, many others from biological traps such as pit vipers and scorpions. Decades later, some believe that the ghosts of many of these soldiers haunt the tunnels and the soil itself to this day. They soil themselves.
All right.
I read that incorrectly. They haunt the tunnels and they soil themselves.
They soil themselves.
To this day.
Sounds good.
I want a ghost that poops his pants. That would be my fucking luck. I get my house is haunted and
go to the bathroom and there's a ghost sitting on the toilet. A little privacy here, buddy. This shit is spooky. Dogs are going crazy.
I can't help it. You scared the shit out of me.
Oh, shit.
And real quick, guys, we have another new podcast to tell you guys about. The Gaming Ride Home podcast is the one podcast video game obsessives listen to every day. It is video game news, all the headlines, rumors, reviews, hardware leaks, release date confirmations, and much, much more, all delivered to you every day at 5 p.m. The show is hosted by former Game Informer and IGN legend Kyle Hilliard, and it's only 15 to 20 minutes long. It's like too long, didn't read as a service. Kyle is online all day, reading all the tweets, checking all the rumor blogs, consolidating all the chatter around the entire world of gaming so that he can catch you up on everything that happened while you were busy living your busy life. If you need a daily dose of video game news in your life every day, search your podcast app right now and subscribe to Gaming Ride Home. All right, I'm going to back up. The dog started going goddamn
apeshit
berserk upstairs. I don't even know what's going on in my
Who
life
knows?
right now.
Who knows?
The next are tree ghosts.
Yeah, tree ghost.
Vietnam has a sad and bloody history, and there's said to be many wandering spirits, especially in the country, that need to find a place to continue their existence. Legend has it that many of these spirits bond with trees. Many people who visit the forests and jungles of Vietnam describe feeling like they've been watched from every direction. Cutting down a tree in these areas is bad luck, and many people are cursed as a result of chopping a tree down, performing a ceremony to ask the ghosts to leave. I want a ghost that haunts my house, and he poops. I really want that. I'm really hung up on that, Rob. Why don't ghosts poop? Why don't they fart?
Man, that's a really good question.
If you have a farting ghost, send us an
Oh my
email,
God,
brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Whatever his name is, whatever you call him, hokey pokey, whatever his name, whatever you call your farting ghost. Email us. We'll get him on here.
Farty arty.
Farty arty. Frank the Ripper, whatever you call him. Uncle Frank and the Rippers.
Oh, man, Uncle Frank and the Rippers. Next from there we go, child kidnappers of GLM.
Hold on, I just scrolled down. Look at that fucking thing right there.
Oh, Jesus.
What is that?
It's a fucking monkey with a sweet
I
mustache.
don't know what it is, dude.
A legend claiming an unmarked grave with the remains of 7 children have been found in the district of GLM gained traction in 2009. The children were said to have been kidnapped and their bodies were found without organs and their innards were harvested. The police say no such unmarked graves have ever been found, but the rumors and suspicions of 7 children mean parents in the Dang Za and Phu Chi communities or communes are much more attentive to their children's whereabouts today.
I like the chicken ramen, honestly. Oh, the chicken ramen.
These things, some of these are hard to say, man. I don't know this shit.
I don't know anything.
Nah, I don't either.
We have another story that was emailed to us from Teddy.
Let's go. You get to it?
This is the second Teddy.
I'm tired of Vietnam.
I'm tired of Vietnam. Yeah, we could probably get off the Vietnam stuff. His story says, I'm a staff sergeant in the United States Air Force. I'm sorry. We got to go back and change his name. Because it says, please don't say my name.
Okay.
We'll go back and change it.
Just do it right now.
What do we want to call him? Teddy. We'll call him Teddy.
Okay.
We're a Teddy. He says he was stationed at Edwards Air Force Base, and they have a very sketchy part of the base where they test all kinds of planes and other stuff. They call it the Air Force Research Laboratory. There's a super creepy man-made mountain, and they had a monster there called Blue Eyes. Which
White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't know what the fuck it is. I have no idea what you're talking about right now, Rob. So, the old Blue Eyes thing, it made me look into it. And this story is from BigfootEncounters.com.
Yes.
It's kind of like Casual Encounters, but you get fucked by a Bigfoot with a red rocket.
A huge red rocket.
Not to change the subject, but my dad, he does a lot of fucking goofy shit.
Okay.
And I was over at their house saying hello, and they have a nice house in a shitty neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I think is the only way to put it.
Yeah.
And there was a dog running around, lots of loose dogs and shit running around.
Mm-hmm.
And this dog was fighting with his dogs through the fence, and he's like, well, fuck that dog. Fuck that dog. I'm thinking, I gotta make my dad proud. I'm gonna go over here and fuck this dog real quick. But this dog starts going up and down the fence, and we're just looking at it. And it's like 2 dudes just looking at this dog. And I noticed this dog has a huge fucking dick and huge balls for anything. Just a huge dick and balls. And I'm thinking to myself in my head, I'm like, God damn, that's a big old dick on that dog. And but to compound the issue, the dog had the biggest set of balls I ever seen in my life, dude. And I'm thinking it. I'm saying to myself, I don't want to act gay in front of my dad, even though I talk about fucking him on the podcast all the time.
Right.
We usually don't talk. We don't kiss and stuff. We don't make out. It's like he's hugged me a couple times probably in my life. I think he's told me he's loved me 3 times. So I don't want to compliment the size of this dog's dick or balls that's running around the neighborhood. And then my dad speaks up and says, "Ah, damn, you see the size of the nuggets of that dog?" The nuggets. And instinctively I said, "Yeah, he's got a big old dick too." And then my dad just staring at me, just, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
So you took it one step too far.
Yeah. He said, "Look at the size of nuggets of that thing." I said, "Yeah, he got a big old dick too. Look at the size of the dick on that dog."
I really want to suck it. Come here, boy.
I started making dog sounds. "Come here, check out them nuggets." He didn't come over. He did not approach us.
Oh, man.
This is the Night Stalker of Edwards Air Force Base. It was a routine night at the Edwards Air Force Base, California. Air Security Police Desk until the frantic call came in from the patrol on duty at the restricted site known as Project Logic. The man's voice was urgent and high-pitched with fear. "Send a patrol, quick. There's this huge form coming toward me. Hurry." What the fuck?
Oh, God.
His voice trailed off, and the sounds of gunshots could be heard through the receiver. Then there was nothing but an ominous silence. When the patrol arrived, the guard was found in a dazed, incoherent state after having fired the full magazine in his gun. The Office of Special Investigation was called in. According to one military source, the patrol vehicle was found overturned. The patrolman's rifle was snapped in two, and a huge 5-toed, bare, human-like footprint crisscrossed the site. The patrolman had not been injured but was terrified. God damn. While no official report of the incident can be found in the archives of the base's historical department, the rumor circulated throughout the Air Force Police that the man at Project Logic was deeply affected by his encounter that night. They said he was placed in a military hospital and eventually sent to an overseas base. In the spring of 1974, Edwards Air Force Base security policeman Sergeant Michael House was on night patrol in the outskirts of the powerful communication site known as Mars Station, which maintains radio contact with other military installations around the globe. A nearby microwave tower, looming like a lonely sentinel in the darkness, stood surrounded by a wooden fence posted with signs advising that the explosive devices, electronically operated or magnetically charged, would detonate within a certain radius. Sergeant House was patrolling in the area of the abandoned sled track once used for testing G-forces when he saw it. "I'd gotten a new spotlight and was trying it out," the sergeant said. "Heading back to the main base, I noticed maybe 200 or 300 yards to my left these large blue eyes. I do a lot of night hunting, and it was strange. They were larger than anything I'd ever seen before. Their diameter had to be about 4 inches apart and 7 feet off the ground. I stopped the truck and sat there watching them. It was too dark to see any body shape to the thing. The blue glows proceeded toward my truck at the right angle for about 100 yards, then stopped. The hair bristled on the back of the patrolman's neck as the larger-than-human eyes began circling and again moving closer to his vehicle. A rank smell like something rotten permeated the air. The thing moved closer again, now coming within 50 yards of his truck, but still its shape could not be discerned through the brush in the desert. Just at the moment, the radio truck radio advised Sergeant House that he could proceed directly back to the main base, and he quickly left the area. He returned 3 hours later, but there was no trace of the blue eyes. Rain washed out the possibility of locating any tracks the following day. So there's something at the Edwards Air Force, and there's a lot of stories that go along with this old this whatever the fuck it is, the Bigfoot or whatever kind of monster this blue-eyed monster is. It's out at Edwards Air Force Base. If you've ever had a run-in with blue eyes,
old blue eyes
at Edwards Air Force Base, you can send us an email, brohiopodcast@gmail.com. Well, what do we got here? 48 minutes.
Yeah, we're making progress.
We're cooking right along.
Yeah.
And we have no shortage of content.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder how we ever got to this spot. You know what we haven't talked about? It was the 3-year anniversary of our podcast. Or did we talk about it?
We mentioned it last episode, I think.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Happy anniversary.
Mm-hmm. You too.
It's been a beautiful 3 years.
It's been a beautiful, beautiful 3 years.
A fun trip.
Have you seen that series on Netflix that's just celebrities that have tripped balls?
No, I haven't.
Forget what it's called, but it's just celebrities talking about eating mushrooms and dropping acid.
Okay, that's pretty
It's
sweet.
about their worst trips,
Mm-hmm.
which is something you and I have talked about.
Yeah.
We would like to do an episode detailing people's worst drug trips. So, I'll put out the all call on Facebook as well. If you
We don't condone drug usage, but we're definitely going to profit off of it if you like.
people have had experiences.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely.
If you have had a trip that you would say is out of the norm. Because when I ask people for ghost stories, they write us and say, I was walking up the steps and a goddamn ghost ran by. The goddamn ghost ran by. And it's like, that's all you got for me? There's nothing profound about that. Everyone has had that happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
If you've had a drug trip that's slightly out of the norm, for instance, you think you take on the shape of a dog and you wake up and you're dry fucking a dead raccoon on the side of the highway, that would be a trip out of the norm. Something that you, Rob Dog experience. That's how he got the nickname Rob Dog.
Yeah.
Okay? That and he's got a red rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
pretty red. It used to be Raw Dog, but then I just turned it to Rob Dog because I decided not to use a condom with that raccoon. But then I just thought it just told too much about me. Yeah.
My neighbor today, he's an old guy, said, you see the size of that fucking coon in my backyard? Whoa, buddy. This is America. You can't do that shit. He said, I didn't think a trap would catch it. I said, he's fucking can't. You gotta say raccoon.
Yeah, we had a really bad problem with that at our old house. They'd get up into our fucking attic.
Oh, dude, raccoons are nasty.
Yeah, they're bad. Bad news. Bad news. They fucking pissed in our attic, and it smelled worse than cat piss.
I didn't know that.
And cat piss smells real bad, like
Yeah.
if it goes untreated. Yeah, it
That's
smelled
bad,
just like
dude.
cat piss, but like way stronger.
That's horrible.
They went up in the attic and had babies, and then they were pissing everywhere. And
They're up there fucking the same time you're fucking your wife.
yeah,
Man, that's cool.
we sometimes try to see who would last longer.
You always
The
lost.
raccoons always won.
I have been known to last longer than a raccoon.
Once or twice.
So what we're asking of you guys, send us your horrible trip stories. Whatever drug it was, you can put it in there or take it out. Put it in, take it out, whatever you want to do. Let us know tell us about your worst trip. Take us through it. Give us a little detailed story about what happened, and then we'll read it on that episode, okay? Send your stories to brohiopodcast@gmail.com.
Let's get your brother's story.
Yeah, your brother's story. Oh, yeah.
Your brother's story.
He didn't, I've never talked to him about his trip. I just talked to him about,
Almost dying.
almost dying from overdosing on mushrooms.
Eating fucking 16 bags of mushrooms.
Send us, just put in the subject, my worst trip.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And then we'll read them on the air, and we'll have all kinds of stories. Rob and I will take DMT while we do it.
If you recall it vividly, make sure you fucking include the shapes and the colors you're seeing. If you were given a handy to Ben Franklin, let us know that. That'd be pretty dope.
If it's really good, we'd love to have you on the episode.
Yeah.
That would be super.
We'll reach out if we get some really good ones.
We'll reach out and do a hand job.
Old Ben Franklin. Give you an old Ben Franklin.
Let's stop here for a second and take out his name.
Oh, yeah.
Forget.
Before, yeah.
Okay. All right, we changed his name. It's Teddy. What about it? Teddy.
Teddy.
Teddy the Titty.
Yep.
All right. Our next few stories we have here are coming by way of World War II.
Yeah.
And Rob is going to take, he's going to tell you about the missing children.
Sure will.
The missing children story.
Yeah. This story comes from Reddit user LGLOO444. I'm not even going to try to.
I would say that's Igloo, Rob.
It is. Jesus fucking Christ. I saw that as an L.
Your brain's like a sweet
I'm a
potato.
fucking retard. It is Igloo. Oh, God, I didn't mean to click on that. Let's see here. Lost my spot. There we go. Their grandfather was a member of the British Army and was stationed in a remote village in the Swiss Alps during the winter of 1943. The village quickly got snowed in, and all the phone lines were out, of course, just like a fucking typical horror movie. The roads were all blocked, and the whole battalion was just stuck in the Swiss Alps for the entire winter. That does not sound fun. Most of the villagers only spoke German, and most of the soldiers only spoke English. Okay.
I like English.
I do too. I definitely prefer that.
Prefer my dirty talking English.
Yes. So when the soldiers were at a local bar one night and a man began yelling, "Where? Take you, the children." At them, they were pretty confused. They round up a translator and took the man back to the base, where he told them that since their arrival, several small objects had gone missing. A tarp, some wood, a halberd, which is similar to an axe, and then the children started disappearing. Okay. All right. If it had just been one child, they probably wouldn't have written it off as weird or tragic incident. They were, after all, stuck in the mountains surrounded by snow and wild animals. But 3 kids? The Redditor explains, the captain told the villagers that he would continue to look for the matter and that he would begin to send some of his men to patrol the streets each night looking for whoever or whatever was the culprit behind all the strange disappearances. Later that night, Private Reginald disappeared from the barracks. Disappearing children was one thing, but a grown man? It seemed unlikely that an animal, even a wolf, could have taken down a healthy, full-grown man on its own. Naturally, rumors began to surface that there was some sort of monster living in the mountains that came down at night to feast on the occupants of the village. So they kept doing nightly patrols. One night, the grandfather and a few other soldiers see a person standing outside the window of a darkened house peering into it. They shout for the figure to stay put. Instead, of course, it takes off running. They gave chase. Eventually, it jumped into a hidden cave and began targeting them. They returned fire, and when the exchange stopped, they investigated. They found Reginald in the cave, deceased, surrounded by 7 half-eaten children.
Oh, fuck me.
Yikes.
I don't know if kids would taste good or not.
Yeah, I don't think that's part of the nutrition pyramid.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, my buddy who had a pretty strange UFO-ish story said he is potentially ready for an interview.
Okay, cool.
So let's try.
Fuck the rest of these things.
Let's try and buzz him up real quick.
Okay, sure.
Okay, we're here with my dear pal and former coworker Shane. Shane was out filling up the fucking pool, but he stopped to come inside to tell us a story of some strangeness that he endured while in the military. Shane, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm all moister than an oyster now, so I'm good to go.
You know, it's funny you say that because Grandma did join us briefly.
She was here, and she was hitting on me as usual. And it was really
Did she bring the panties full of tapioca?
Oh, God.
She asked Rob Dog if he wanted some of her whisker biscuit, and I'm not 100% sure what a whisker. I believe she made a reference to a fuck fart and a sausage wallet as well.
There we go.
She did. She didn't miss a beat.
So, without telling your story for you, Shane, go ahead and set this up for us. We just, the email you sent was perfect, but I said we're going to get him in here for an interview. So, tell us all about your story.
All right, so I was in the Navy, and let's just keep the, some of those jokes aside. I know they're coming.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. So I was a radar tech in the Navy, and we were doing Harrier operations one day, and we were sitting off the coast of Norfolk. We were out to sea.
How so this is like close to the mainland, really, like America.
Yeah, I mean, we were like 100, 200 miles off the coast.
Okay.
So heavy fog that day, which will come into play later. But they were doing Harrier qualification ops so the pilots could get their flight time in.
Right.
I'm standing watch down in the combat center, and I pick up a contact. So I start tracking it, and it's just kind of sitting there, not doing anything at first.
And by contact, you mean there was something physical in the air, right?
Yeah, something was on my screen. I was able to get a lock on it, and I was able to confirm it later on 2 other stations.
Okay.
So it was definitely there. What was odd about this contact was, it was in a flight zone where it definitely should not have been, and it was not ours because all of our planes have what's called identification friend or foe. It was not broadcasting that.
Okay.
But we couldn't get any kind of communications from it. So I let my tactical officer know. I said, hey, I've got a contact in the area. I can't get an IFF on it. So I started watching this thing, and apparently it knew that it was being tracked because it started moving from one side of my radar space to the other. Now, I can't say how far my radar actually was able to see, but it went from one side to the other.
Sure.
And I can tell you that it covered about 200 miles in 6 seconds.
Whew, man.
And it went from dead stop to accelerated, 200 miles to dead stop.
Wow.
We don't have a craft that can do that.
No. hold on, Shane.
Yep.
My baby just came in. All right, Shane, you're good to fire back up.
Alrighty. So I reported back to the tactical officer about what this thing was doing. He came over to my station, and he started seeing this thing. He made a call up to the bridge, and then he came over and he said, "You're relieved from your watch." And I was like, "The fuck? No."
They wanted you out of there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He was like, "No, I got this. You can go." I'm like,
do you recall how much longer you had left in your shift?
About 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
That's a little weird.
It was a 4-hour watch, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
A superior officer relieving you of your watch does not happen. The captain is the one who can relieve you from your watch.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I got this. You need to go."
Damn.
I'm like, okay. So I go up to my workshop, and I'm going to watch this thing on the backup console because I had one in my radar shop.
Yeah.
I flip that thing on. I've got no feed. It had been cut.
Wow. What would it take for that feed to be killed?
Just a switch down there on the console.
Okay, which didn't happen often.
No, that feed is supposed to be live. It's a diagnostic feed that it's a backup.
Yeah.
So if the main one goes down, we always have a secondary.
Gotcha.
So I called over to one of the other shops, and I'm like, "Hey, do you guys have a feed from your consoles?" And they were like, "No, ours have been cut."
Oh, wow.
Man.
And I'm like, "Yeah, so's mine. What the hell's going on?" So we all go outside. We're trying to see what the hell's going on, but the fog was way too thick. All we could hear were the Harriers.
Okay.
We couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anything. All we knew was that there was something going on out there that was shooting hundreds of miles in a matter of seconds.
God damn.
And to this day, we don't have a craft that can do that. I mean, I'm talking dead stop, off like a lightning bolt, dead stop.
Well, like you said in the email, there's been a lot of stuff come forward in the past few weeks here as far as the Pentagon declassifying some things, and a lot of that aircraft that they've shown those videos kind of stops on a dime and kind of can hover there and zip off in kind of weird directions.
And that was roughly around the time that I think one of those videos was taken.
Okay.
In the email, I told you 2003. That I may have been wrong. It was 2003 or 2004. I can't 100% remember, but it was one of those years because I got out in 2004, so it was one of those years. But that was right around that same time where one of those videos that was taken came out.
Okay.
So I mean, they were definitely seeing activity that was similar to what I saw,
but
right around that same time. So
I guess the radar itself kind of is more telling than actually seeing something with your eyes. But the fog was so thick that day you couldn't really get eyes on anything in the sky?
Oh no, I was able to see like off the flight deck, and that was about it.
Gotcha.
So did anything happen after you were relieved of your position?
Well, the tactical officer came over, and he was like, "Yeah, that was just a radar ghost. Don't worry about it."
Sure.
I'm like, "A radar ghost? Sure." Yeah.
In your opinion, if you had to bet your life on it, what do you think you caught on the radar that day?
I have no idea. I mean, it was either an experimental craft or it was something that was, someone looking for some action.
Either way, it was something you weren't supposed to see.
Right. I was definitely, it was way above my pay grade.
Right.
But you didn't have anybody reach out to you after that and say, "Hey, don't fucking talk about this," or anything?
No,
like that?
I mean, he felt that he made his point. He knew that I was, quote, a good little sailor. So when he said, "Just forget about it,"
sailor.
Oh, I was a good little sailor. He told me just forget about it, and I was like, "Aye, sir, I understand, but
sure.
I really want to know what that was."
Yeah, and all the truth be told, they probably had no fucking clue what it was. Honestly,
they may not have, but I mean, when he called up to the bridge, he kind of nodded. I mean, the phone was on the other side of the combat center from where I was, so
Right.
it was too far for me to hear.
And as far as maybe talking to some of your other fellow seamen,
There it goes.
other sailors, did you ever hear of any similar stories like this, or was this kind of an isolated incident?
I've heard other similar stories, but
Sure.
I could never tell if they were just pulling my leg or
Right.
what. But
Did you
that's
guys,
the only.
let me ask you this: did you guys ever fuck each other, you and the other guys on the ship?
No, there were actually females on my ship.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I get
And
what you're saying there.
I can tell you some good stories about them because there were two of them
That's
that came off the ship and paid cash for brand new Corvettes.
Oh, nice.
so they were prostitutes.
$20 a pop, and no, I didn't.
Jesus, man, what a fucking! You gotta
man.
do what you gotta do.
I don't hate the player.
I hate the game.
When the Marines are on board and they're going off to war, not sure if they're ever coming back. Why not?
God, and it's only $20.
Yeah, $20 for 20 minutes.
Even a fucking Marine can count to 20.
Man. 20 minutes. They better give me some change back.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Shane, thank you so much,
Thank you
man,
kindly, sir.
That was a fantastic. I don't even know what
Yeah,
the fuck.
I wish I had something better, like getting, seeing some tentacles come out and rape someone up the ass or something.
No,
that's
and that's
cool.
one thing that. Did you spend a lot of time out at sea when you were in the Navy?
Yeah, I did 2 tours over to the Persian Gulf.
Well, one thing that frightens the shit out of me, and it's cool to have someone here that's kind of experienced it. Rob and
Open water.
Rob and I are both kind of terrified of the open water. Did you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you get eyes on the water a lot, or is it just kind of like a foregone, I guess, background that you were on the water and just didn't see it very much?
I actually took as many opportunities as I could to get out and see the open water. And going out in the middle of the night was one of the most humbling experiences I ever had.
As far as seeing
I'm
the
sure stars are fucking crazy.
Oh my God. You think the movies have given you some great shots?
Yeah.
No.
So that's on my bucket list, is just to see the most natural, purest form of our night sky.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Yeah.
where to do that at, but it sounds like the middle of the ocean would be a good spot.
I've done cruises, but I think like being on like, a carrier would be like even crazier because
Yeah.
you're legit
I-
out there.
I was not on a carrier. I was on an amphibious assault ship.
Okay.
But yeah, it was the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. But
Okay.
it was,
Now,
it's still a big ass ship. It's like
Right.
900 feet long on the flight deck.
Yeah,
did you
that's
ever,
still huge.
Did you ever see anything in the water you couldn't quite explain or anything like that?
Nothing that I couldn't explain, but some of the coolest shit that I ever saw in the water, seeing flying fish for the first time was
man.
awesome. Those things freaked me out.
Those are dolphins, Shane.
No, they were not dolphins. I saw dolphins. Seeing flying fish freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Seeing the dolphins dancing around the ship was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Seeing a couple of sharks sitting at the bow of the ship while we were anchored over in the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
Ginormous, like whale shark. Oh my
shit.
God. Like
Jesus.
the size of some of the small boats that we had.
Wow.
They were massive.
Yeah. Well, that's good shit, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hey, you're welcome. Glad I could be a part. I'm glad I could
Yeah.
fill some time with a story.
I know you've been listening since the very beginning. We're very
Hell
appreciative.
yeah.
So
Thank you so much,
Go
man.
try to get some Patreon stuff your way here soon.
You
Give me some stickers.
just you send me your address. I got you some stickers on the way, buddy.
All right, good deal.
All right, we'll holler at you later.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, ma'am.
That's Shane, my friend, my wonderful friend Shane.
Good guy.
Cool story.
Very cool story.
What do you think it was up there, Rob?
Probably a test craft.
I thought you were gonna say a testicle.
Well, maybe.
Just a testicle.
Maybe just a big dangly sack.
Flaming hunk of poopy. And it made me.
You know, I'll be totally honest. I'm almost as interested in experimental aircraft as I am with like legitimate UFOs. Like, I think that
Yeah.
the stuff that like the government secretly works on that doesn't want anybody else knowing about is just as interesting as
You know, we had one person write
anything
us
else.
that said, and he didn't want us to use his name, that he had access to a lot of secret government stuff.
Mm-hmm.
At least he thought he did. And he said it was pretty mundane and boring, the stuff that he had access to, as far as what the government was doing. And,
Right.
and maybe he just wasn't in the know as much as he thought he was in the know.
Right.
But he said the stuff that he had access to it wasn't very interesting.
Yeah. I've just heard that whatever you can think is possible, we're like 20 or 30 years beyond that.
Yeah,
as far as aircraft goes, which is just fucking crazy.
I was I have like I said a few weeks ago, I bought a drone. Been taking some videos. Today was the highest I took the drone. It was right around the threshold of 400 feet.
Oh, nice.
As high as you're allowed to go with a drone in America.
Is it? There's a limit?
Yeah. Because you don't want it to hit
obviously, you don't want to hit airplanes and shit, but
when it got that high, I couldn't see it. Like, it was gone. It was noiseless, but I could still get perfect pictures of me down on the ground.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you still got good reception on it.
This drone is a really good entry model drone for someone that plans on being an enthusiast. It was about $500, and it's the lowest of it's the entry level. It's not the ones you get at fucking Walmart for $50.
Yeah.
And just to think, this $500 toy, this is essentially a toy. I can do that in my backyard. I can cruise over people's houses. I can get this drone close enough to a window to look in the windows of my house and see my family doing stuff. And they can't hear it outside. They can't see it because it's so small. I mean, it's not tiny, but it's not. They don't even notice it's outside the window. The fact that is available to the public for $500. Just think about what the U.S. government has for $500 million, for $5 trillion, $5 billion. You know, there's so many different things that you can't even fathom.
There's this one video that I saw on Reddit where this guy had like a pretty good build, like not super expensive build, but he took it into something crazy like the fucking Swiss Alps or something, and he was zooming across the top of the mountains, like across the mountain peaks, and it's like perfect video.
Yeah.
And he's like flying through it, and it looks like a movie shot.
Yeah, dude.
And I saw it, and I was like, dude, that's crazy.
There's a video I'll show you when we're done here.
He spent like $1,200 on this thing. It's not even like that much money, and he was getting super good shit.
It's there's no end to what they can do.
Right.
And what we don't know about. It's just fucking wild.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead with Man in the Attic.
Okay.
We'll end it here. We'll go with another story too. Whatever you want to do. In Colmar, France, a young woman experienced something strange in the summer of 1991. Her family had just moved into a new house, and she found a hole in the wall of the attic. Through the hole, she could see another room, but as far as she could tell, it had no door. She felt something strange coming from the hole, but didn't investigate.
Okay.
Later, she went back with a flashlight and saw something. Quote,
a dick flies through the hole.
I saw a dick.
You gonna suck it?
This man, you're a fucking piece of shit.
It's a glory hole, man.
Quote, there was a young man sitting on the floor, his knees against his chest.
Told you.
His arms, it was a dick. His arms were crossed on his knees like he was hugging himself. He turned his head toward us and smiled.
Ugh.
We bolted out of the room and went to the storage room. My heart was pounding. I was out of breath. I first thought that it was a real person, but he had no color.
Ooh.
It was like a 3D dark shadow, and we never heard any footstep. My friend refused to admit that we saw a ghost, and we never talked about it. My grandmother learned later that our house was Clandestine printing office during World War II. The owners printed slogans against the Germans, but I think that there was something else in that house. I believe that the secret room was used to hide people.
Ooh.
Fucking terrifying.
That is crazy.
Trying to scroll through here and see what would be I don't know, whatever you want to throw one of these at him, Rob.
Sure, let's go with the Ghosts of Normandy. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
One father took a trip through France with his family. He wanted to visit Normandy and see a few sites from World War II. His daughter was 7 years old at that time, and he says that she had, at that point, never been exposed to any history about World War II and didn't know what either sides of the uniform looked like. After they returned home, things got a little odd, he writes. Over the past year, my daughter has often spoke of things or men that she saw looking at her, pointing guns at her, and following her while we were in the bunkers and around the Normandy areas. Jeez. She often described them as crouching down, hiding behind corners, holding guns, and looking as if they were very mad. He started asking her questions about what she saw. Here's one conversation that he had. Were you scared? Yes, but I knew they weren't going to hurt me. So I didn't think anything of it, but there were a lot of them. Everywhere I looked, they were moving around like army men do, kind of crawling but bent over. When we would walk out of a bunker, I would see one in the grass or behind a tree. Then when I was in the car, I would see them looking at me from behind the fence and in a field. Sometimes a lot of them, sometimes only one or two. She also described their uniforms perfectly, camouflage and everything.
Dude.
Kids, man.
I don't fucking like kids. They're the absolute worst. So I guess we'll call that a conclusion on our... What are we going to call it?
Memorial Day episode.
Memorial Day episode.
There you go.
We call it our military strangeness. My cats are getting ready to fucking fight.
They are. They're squaring off down here.
Hate each other. They always have pussy measuring contests all the time. And some of you may think that he's like, oh yeah, it's like a cat. It's a contest to see who the biggest cat is. No, they want to see who has the biggest vagina, and they constantly fight over it. Yes,
they scared the shit out of her.
Scared the kitty.
Pumpkin.
So next week, I think I don't know.
We potentially have a good one.
We might not make it to next week.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we don't know.
After I was around a lot of people this weekend.
Yeah, that's very true. Things are kind of opening back up now, so it's like
One funny thing I saw is this past week there was a big golf match on television. It was Peyton Manning, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, and Phil Mickelson. And
Okay.
They were playing golf against one another, and Tom Brady bent over to pick up his ball, and his fucking pants ripped right along his ass crack.
That's awesome.
And he posted a picture of it to Twitter, and he said, my pants were practicing social distancing because they're all fucking split and spread apart.
Well played.
Tom Brady. That guy has it all, dude.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, he's good, man.
Handsome, not fat, doesn't stink.
Tons of Super Bowl rings.
It doesn't even matter. He can wear them on his wiener and just whatever he wants to do.
Living that life, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, God bless the ones that have given their lives. There was something else I wanted to say. We had an email this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was from Instagram, which my wife does.
Okay.
She sent it to me, and it was some guy. He said, unfortunately, I've been listening to you guys for a long time, but I can't listen to you anymore because you guys make a mockery of Christianity, and I'm a devout Christian.
Oh, we got another one of those.
So here's my thing. For the people that
you can believe what you want to believe. We're not knocking you.
That's and whatever I, at a very young age, I gave my life to Christ. I'm not joking about that. I accepted the Lord and Savior as, I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since then, there's been things in my life that have happened that have led me to believe why, and more specifically in the past few years, there's been things that have happened where I'm kind of like, what if it's not true? But we've had a few different people that have wrote us and said, you make a mockery of Christianity.
We really don't. Yeah, we really don't.
Even if we did, Rob, these people stuck with us through the times we talked about fucking each other, talking about fucking our parents.
Yeah.
We probably talked about fucking grandmas and kids. We have talked horribly. There were a few episodes ago, we were talking about people from China, and I said they can't open their eyes all the way.
Very true.
That's a mean, nasty thing to say. I'm from America. I have high blood pressure. I'm fat.
Very open eyes.
But very open eyes. But these people
excuse me, I'm sorry.
The ones that say, I'm leaving you because of Christianity. If we mock Christianity, just like if we mocked people that were Jewish or fucking Hindu, or people we mocked because they're, wear fucking Nikes. You stuck with us through all that shit when we talked about all that stupid stuff. But then as soon as we say something about the Christian religion, you're like, oh,
it's religion and politics, man. That's how it goes. It's so decisive, and I don't get it.
And that's why people have a problem with Christianity, because bad Christians pick and choose.
Right.
What is, like, for instance, we fucking hate gay people. Christians that portray that. Well, it's not your fucking job to play judge and jury or to say who. In the Bible, it tells you to love everyone, okay? And it tells you to be kind and treat everyone in a godly nature. And for you to tell someone they can't be a certain way that they want to be, fuck you and fuck everything you stick in your ass. Because the guys that are really hard, the guys are like, oh man, fucking gay people. Those are the guys that laying on their backs at night, letting their wives peg the fuck out of them because they're like the fucking.
And not that there's anything wrong with that. If that floats your boat, hey, more fucking power to you.
There is nothing wrong with it.
No.
But then there's the guys who are, oh, you goddamn queers. What
Yeah.
you can't be gay and God in this country. Donald fucking Trump. And
Stop being selective on what you can be offended with.
why don't you wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, and just make the same decision that I make, that, hey, I'm going to go out and make some friends today.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and I'm going to love people. I'm going to give everyone a chance to talk to me. I'm going to talk to them. And I think that's why we've made it so far, Rob, because I listen to other podcasts, and some people listen to us and say, oh, they can't get through the first 15 minutes. Well, you know what? In that first 15 minutes, you're getting to know us. You're getting to know Rob. You're getting to know the fucking... You're learning that his son likes to hump the ground. You're learning about the problems my daughters have pooping or whatever. You're getting to know us, and we open ourselves up because we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate you being here with us. And
just like we've always said, it's it's not always about subject matter. It's it's about us.
It's like a goddamn family.
Yeah,
It's our lives. It's a transcript of our life.
Yeah,
and we're so happy for you to be along here with us. And if us making fun of Christianity is what drove you away, I'm sorry. If it wasn't me talking about Rob fucking his grandma, if it wasn't Will Wilkins, if it wasn't any of those things that made you say, okay, which in the Bible or whatever you read, it tells you what's right and what's, right and wrong. But if it got to the point where we made fun of Christianity a little bit, which Christians can be made fun of because they, they're easy to make fun of.
and let's be honest, there is no God. No, I'm just
No, you're
joking.
But
I mean, and that's the thing. Yeah, I'm not going to get up in arms if somebody tells me I'm going to go to hell for saying that too. I mean, it's like, hey, believe what you want to believe. It doesn't affect me.
It doesn't.
It doesn't affect me.
And we may get to the afterlife.
You may think it does, but
you and I get in a fucking plane crash when we have our, we go into our private recording studio.
I might be wrong.
And you and I plop our feet down to hell at the exact same time, and I'll be like, "Oh man, Timmy was right about making fun of Jesus.
Right,
we are fucked now."
Yeah, I'll be the first to say I might be wrong in my beliefs. I'm not, I'm not hardcore set in one way or the other. So I mean, it has nothing to do with just bashing. I think any organized religion is pretty much just a scam. But
it's cool that we have a platform that we can talk and people can listen to us. And I do want to say, to the people out there, it's not your job to tell someone whether they're right or wrong.
Right.
Whether they can feel good doing one thing or they're supposed to feel bad doing things another way.
You're allowed to believe whatever the fuck you want to believe.
And then but you have to listen to everybody's goddamn shit.
That's
dude.
very true.
You fucking peg. I'm going up to my wife tonight, and she's going to peg the fuck out of me.
Hey.
And I don't care if she wants to do it. I don't care what we use to do it. I don't care if it hurts at first. I'm going to push through. And I'm probably not going to do that. I'm probably not going to put anything in my butt tonight because I think it would hurt. But I just want to say to anyone that wants to do anything, well, you want to snort fucking cocaine. Snort fucking cocaine.
Yeah, if you just want to snort fire ants.
Snort crushed up Fritos. That's what I do because I don't like drugs and I don't like alcohol that much. So I just live your life and fucking don't worry about what other people have to say to you or what other people have to think about you. You do you be happy. Because in 50 goddamn years, when you look back, you're going to say...
Religious views and political views do not define a person.
It does not. Just like I have friends that don't... Politically, you and I don't fucking care what's going on.
No.
But I know people that will straight up eradicate you from their life if you don't think Donald Trump was the goddamn motherfucking goddamn whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand
it's so stupid.
Yeah, it's so decisive. It's crazy.
Tell you what's going to happen every goddamn year? You're going to have to pay your fucking taxes. I'm going to have to pay my taxes. And that's pretty much the end of it.
Let's be totally honest. Any of those guys don't give a fuck about you anyways. They don't fucking care.
That's just like, I was talking to my dad the other day, and I said at the beginning of this, I said, what if somebody said to you, can you hang out at your house and not eat out for 2 months, and I'll give you a $1,200 check? And I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'll do that. I'm all in. And,
sold.
All right. So that's our It's our mindless rant.
We'll get on a little soapbox there for a second.
Whatever. You feel better?
I do, man. But hey, if you stuck with us through this long, through all the bullshit and stupid shit that we say, we appreciate the hell out of you.
Oh, we do.
You're
More
like
than
one
once.
of us.
And even to the person that wrote us and said, I can't listen to you anymore. Because
we hope you change your mind.
the biggest thing about Christianity, my friend, is forgiving. I don't know you, but I bet you if you and I met in a neutral setting, you would like me, and I would like you, and we would get along.
We'd all like each other.
We would,
except for the person that said I'm a racist.
We would eat out each other. Well, there's one person named Jetta J that's going to all the podcasts and just leaving really bad reviews. And he left Justin Rimmel from Mysterious Circumstances as a really bad review.
Was that the same person you left the review on?
It was
on
the same person. They wrote us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw you drop that review. I didn't know it was the same person.
Jetta J is the one that said they can't stop fucking eating for 5 minutes to make the goddamn podcast. Like fucking.
There was one
fucks.
episode and we did it as a joke.
But then right at the end of the review it says they have really good stuff.
Yeah.
And I highlighted that for Justin.
I saw that.
Like, don't get it twisted, motherfucker.
Oh man, you guys are awesome.
Yeah. So keep them coming. I don't know what you're coming, but keep coming. Just keep on coming.
Keep slinging it.
Be like me. Once you come, just keep coming. Been coming since I was about 7 years old, and I just keep coming.
Everywhere.
All right, guys.
We love you guys. Thank you.